feel like my joints getting numb, you know, like if you lie down on your hand, you get up, this hand numb.
Yeah.
So my eyes closed, my body couldn't move, but I feeling the pain, I hearing the voices, the people around me, you know, it's like the, the doctor will pass and something was still talking in my head. Something, I will say, because I don't know, in my mind, somebody talking to me. If I go to try to move, it's like, no, they go see you. Don't move. They go carry you. Yeah, they will, you know, you'll end up in Ward 1 and whatnot. And
Mm-hmm.
it I had to get the rehab's help because nothing else was working. I tried to do it for myself, the doctors them trying, but nothing wasn't sticking with me.
So how did you find your way to New Life Ministries?
Through one of my cousin's friends.
Mm-hmm.
They did the program also, and they advised for me to go. I had a intervention where everybody came together and put me sit down, and they'd say, hey, they started, they tried to show me your children here, seeing you, and from the time I hear children, is something click again. You know, it's like, why I keep doing this? Why I want it for myself, I was supposed to give to my children.
Right.
And it made me realize I need help, and that brought me to New Life Ministry. The same rehabilitation I am working at is where I did my program, you know, and is something that is life changing. That it was something I had to do. That is my purpose, you know, just entering them rooms and realizing life is so much better sober than any fun time I think when I was drunk. You know, just accepting myself. I found myself in that place, you know, the guidance I got, you know, the support that I gained, even self afterwards, the people I used with. I get new people in recovery also. People who strive and are by my side and push me to keep doing the best I could. It wasn't hard to make that decision. It was September 26th, the 26th of September. That was 2 years ago. I went in. As I walk in that place, one of the clients watched me from head to toe, so I like, oh Lord, I come back with
Again?
the eyes. Well, here joke. I went for myself. So everybody came and they tell me about this place, but I make the decision because, as I say, when I hear my children, is something that's very different in my heart, in my head, in my soul. Being admitted, I went in. First day I remember going up and the nurse told me to take the bunk bed on top. As I say, I was the smallest I ever was in my life. Going up on the bed and break the bed. It wasn't a good bed.
You break the people bed?
Yeah, break the people bed.
Oh Jesus.
God, I like, oh God.
Isn't there nobody below?
No, thank God. But it break and I just come off because as I say, I'm more agile. It was just a old bed. You know, the nurse wasn't supposed to put me there, but she didn't know, so put me in a better bed because
And how big were you then?
I was smaller than the pictures, smaller than I am now.
Right,
But it was
okay.
unhealthy because you used to see my skin hanging off my body.
Right.
I did gain weight after rehab
Yeah.
because I was on a specific diet.
Right.
Going to rehab, you had to eat with a gear. So I wanted to starve myself, but something about that rehab does make you hungry. So I say nah, boy, I had to eat. But it was
Eat responsibly.
eat responsibly.
Right.
It was better, you know, learning about myself, anger management, learning that this is a disease, this is that I could, you know, come to terms with
And
it
manage,
and
yeah.
manage was the break I needed to hear, was the acceptance. It just broke different.
If you just joining us to listen to Dependency and we're speaking with Shalama Rahman. Did Facebook shut down?
Yeah, they both did, but it's back up now.
I'm so tired of this, eh? I mean, really tired of this. It seems to. We are speaking with
But
Shalama Rahman here.
Recovery, we know, having spoken to a lot of people about this, recovery is not easy, right?
Oh,
It's,
yeah.
it's not one size fits all, it's not linear.
Yeah.
What were some of the difficult moments for you in your recovery?
Taking constructive criticism. That was something that I still processing. It is hard. My time in rehab, I still had to face life. And being there with myself was realizing how much I didn't care about myself, because when you're by yourself, then without the distractions, the drugs, without the distraction at the gym, I just had to shut down and just
Be
absorb
with yourself.
with myself.
Mhm.
And as I said, I didn't like me. No, I love me, but yeah, I did have a bully in there too.
Hmm.
You know, it's talking about your feelings, and the person watch you. Oh, you're fat. I was like, dude, I was fatter than that. You know, in my mind is like,
Yes.
I started to think differently. You know, so instead of taking the attack, I take it and put my pinch of salt. I just say, put my pinch of salt on it. You know, like, okay, so I could lose the weight. I know it, been there, done that. You know, you will still be that naive, ignorant person. I cannot control you. I cannot change you, but I could choose how I react. And that is what the rehab did for me. Helped me to gain that sense of understanding, because it's different segments we do, you know, different workshops we have, stress management, anger management, you know, simple things that growing up, if I learned that, I might have been in a different way. But everything for a reason.
Yes, indeed. And what would have inspired you to move from being a client now to being a counselor yourself? How
Okay.
did that journey happen?
So one of my counselors used to always say, when a door closed, a window will open. When I left the rehab, I didn't know what I was going to do, because as I say, I left the gym bad. When I left, nobody didn't know where I was. I just disappeared from the face of the earth. Nobody, you know, everybody was just studying my health, and I decided I want to go there. Nobody didn't want to say anything, because she gone rehab, everybody, you know, is he say, she say. Now I don't care because in recovery, this is what keeps me sober, letting everybody know what I went through and what I am still going through. Because if I walk in on the streets, I smell somebody smoking a joint, my mouth is salivate, the urges is there. But I have to keep me sober. I am the only one to do that. I will my recovery. I just tell all my clients that I will my recovery on a daily into my reality, because I know what it is to be in La La Land. You know, this rehab was something I had to. The counselors saw my progression, because as I said, I left the gym bad and I wanted to go back. But how I left, I had no chance. A spot opened up and they saw my progress, and they take me before, you know, they wait a while
yeah.
then to take in clients to be a staff. But because of how I progress and they see the growth I get through, no, praise and thank God. And it was something, it is something I find purpose in now. You know, I like talking to people. I like telling people, you know, hey, it have hope, hold on. You know, life does get brighter. It does get better. Don't allow your thoughts to take you, you know, because as I say, things happen, I will have my bad days. As I say, I am dealing with this. Um,
A
this
brain injury,
a br-
basically.
yeah, basically, and it does be challenging
Yeah.
because now I have a will for life. I have a excitement, but still unsure. But everybody have that. Nobody sure for tomorrow. I can't change nothing in the past, and today is what I have. Coming to that reality keeps me sober and humble today. And humble is something I had to do.
Thank you, Shalama. You know, this is another story of resilience and a will to survive and recover and do the right thing. And, you know, I just sort of say, I am just trying to recover from why this Facebook and YouTube feeds just keep dropping every Sunday. That's giving me panic attacks, it's giving me anxiety. I am serious because, you know, especially when you're in the middle of a learning
Yeah.
class, you know, and to see this keep happening all the time, it's really, really starting to bother me. But I hope and pray that you people out there are getting the messages that's been sent here this morning from Shalama,
Indeed.
and it's
I wanted to ask
really-
before we move on to the new segment, as time is running away with us. I want to ask Shalama what message she would want to share right now for anybody who feels trapped like you would
It
by
have help.
addiction.
It have help. Reach out. Reach out. You are not alone. Because my addiction, I always thought I was alone. Hearing other people's stories, going to a meeting, hearing somebody share their story, I could relate. I don't feel isolated anymore. I don't feel like the fattest one in the room anymore. You know, it's like being in the room, being welcomed by other people, not being looked down on. Because of my size, people look down. Being called an addict is a bad thing. People look down on addicts because in active use we are Jekyll and Hyde.
Mhm.
You know, I am a totally different person when I in use, but I am the same lovable person sober, just less ignorant, less doped up, more conscious. You know, my friends, you know, I asked, I was like, so what you think about me? And I was like, hey, you're more open, you're more outspoken. Before I used to, as I say, shelter and try to just be blurred in the background because I don't know how to communicate. This me here couldn't get that 2-3 years ago. I couldn't even say hello properly without my voice shaking, without I feeling like everybody going and deem
Judge
me,
you.
judge me.
Yeah, and it's true. That's a real and even the people who speak on drugs don't understand when they hear people like us speak. There's a part of us they don't understand. Now, in rehabilitation, if it's three things they teach you to do is be assertive, aggressive, or passive. Just know the time to
Yeah.
implement all three. So when I too was low self-esteem, introverted, but from the time I went through rehab and got build that confidence in myself, I was able to, people don't ask me if you don't want to hear, because I will tell you, you know, and some people call that disrespectful, some, you know, people say you're too passionate or whatever, but that's how I feel. You know, Leslie Carrington, deceased from New Life Ministries, she said, how you feel about that? And I said, you know, I feel a real way about that. She said, no, how did you feel? A way is not a feeling. Were you angry? Were you upset? Were you sad? I say, yes, I was damn vexed that happened to me, or that he said that to me. Feeling a way, you know, so I feel a how boy when he said that. No, a how is not a feeling. How you really feel.
Yeah.
Right? And I was mad, I was angry,
Yeah.
and rehab does that for you.
They
It
get
gives
all
you
this
that.
feeling words.
Yes.
Sad, happy,
Yes.
angry, anxious, depressed. you know,
Correct.
yeah.
Correct. So
Not normal.
yeah.
Yeah, I first thinking normal and
Yeah,
normal.
I normal, you know. No, you're not.
Yes.
Okay?
You don't know. Unique, special.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So before we take your calls quickly, let's go through. You know, we always have to share. So I want you to pay particular attention why I asked the question this morning about working together and collecting data and drug testing people, excuse me. Let me show you what I mean. But first, let's go to image B quickly, Hinkson, B and C. The IOM and the CTU have been at it again, and the Trinity Dance Theatre as well gave some contributions to the counter trafficking unit. This is a unit that works 24/7, 365. So, and we have to say condolences. They lost a family member, a member of the team, a team member. So on the image there, you will see the first one.
Right, so IOM has made a donation of non-perishable food items and gifts for victims of human trafficking, and that was done last week. And the Trinity Dance Theatre as well has offered their support, these care packages, which include clothing, hygiene items, and other things. Oh, he's gone back to CTU. So CTU received these things, and stick with one now. Because it's switching back and forth. Stay on B for a second. Let me read it. All right, Hickson. Hickson. Go back to B, please. Hickson.
Just go ahead.
Right. So the IOM, again, the IOM officer in charge, Desiree Jordan Whiskey, handed over these care packages to the director and deputy of the CTU. And support like this, they say, will help provide comfort and care to victims and survivors. And they value this partnership with the IOM, who has been very instrumental in assisting the CTU in many areas, including this one of non-perishable food items for victims of trafficking. So fulfilling the protection aspect of the 4 Ps, right? And the next one is the next donation was from the Trinity Dance Theatre. That's image C, Shortman. So the Trinity Dance Theatre donated several care packages, which included new clothing, hygiene items, and feminine care products. Things that you would not think are important, but obviously they are, because we want these victims to feel comfortable and have the essential items that they need. So these essentials bring comfort, dignity, and hope to those on their journey of recovery. These are victims of trafficking. The Trinity Dance Theatre has partnered with the CTU to raise awareness through the short film Silenced, and today, on this day, they help to make a difference by fulfilling one of the 4 Ps in their mandate: protection, ensuring that every victim of trafficking receives the care and support that they deserve. So kudos again to the IOM and Trinity Dance Theatre for these donations.
Right, so let's go to the Jared Shaw story. We don't have to say all in it, actually. Let's start with D. Let's hear what the story is about. Is this the trafficking?
Yes.
Right.
So the story is a basketball player faces the death penalty for a stupid mistake while in Indonesia. A U.S. basketball player is potentially facing the death penalty after he was discovered with $400 worth of drugs at his apartment. Jared Shaw, a 35-year-old athlete from Dallas, could either be handed the death penalty or sentenced to a long spell behind bars in the Asian country. Shaw has been playing for Prawira Bandung, the 2023 Indonesian Basketball League winners, but now he's been banned from competition for life and is currently stuck in pre-trial detention. The story goes on to talk about Indonesia. Its incredibly strict stance when it comes to drugs. Currently, there are 3 UK adults who narrowly avoided the death penalty because they were deemed to have smuggled 300,000 pounds worth of drugs, and a British grandmother is on death row in the country and has remained there for the past 12 years after smuggling 1.6 million pounds worth of drugs into Bangkok. So Thailand, Indonesia, most of these Asian countries have a very strict stance when it comes to
and the
drugs.
death penalty is what? Firing squad.
The death penalty is firing squad, correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, they don't play.
They don't play. So Jared's story, in his case, it was about $400 worth of cannabis gummies that he was arrested for, and it's something that he claims he takes to ease the symptoms of Crohn's disease. Now, if you're aware of what Crohn's disease is, it's a chronic inflammatory condition, right? He told the Guardian newspaper that he uses cannabis as a medicine. He has this condition called Crohn's disease. It's incurable, and there's no medicine apart from cannabis that can stop his stomach from aching. Shaw lives in Thailand during the off-season where cannabis has been legalized, but he suggests that health reasons spurred him to import 132 gummies into Indonesia earlier this year in what proved to be a stupid mistake. He imported these gummies. He was arrested. It's $400 worth of gummies that he claims he uses to treat his Crohn's disease. So he spent the last 5 months in detention, and his contract with the basketball club was terminated almost immediately after his initial arrest. And he suggests that his mistake shouldn't warrant such a severe punishment, but again, we know how these countries treat with anything, any drug-related charge. Shaw said, "There's people telling me I'm about to spend the rest of my life in prison over some edibles. I've never been through anything like this." And in the first 2 months of his arrest, he was at the lowest point in his life, he says, a really dark mental place. And the story ends that the director of advocacy at Last Prisoner Project, which campaigns for the release of people imprisoned for cannabis-related offenses, said Jared's case is not an isolated incident. Around the world, people are serving extreme sentences for non-violent cannabis offenses that pose no threat to public safety. These punishments run counter to international human rights standards. So folks, clearly nobody advised this young man as to what the penalty for having this amount of substances in this country that he's playing basketball in. Nobody advised him that this was not a good idea.
Yeah, and to those of you who know someone planning to take a trip tomorrow, please God, or to any part of the world, just ask them if they're sure they know what they say they're going to do. Is that what they're going to do, and not carry drugs? Because once they get caught there, you're not coming back home. Let me just put it as blunt as that.
Correct.
And their method of death is execution is by firing squad. And they went on to describe how the firing squad is set up and who is charged with shooting in the head. And if everybody miss, then somebody will shoot you in the head after that. So you're not going to survive. That's what they tell it. These people are very serious about protecting their people from substance abuse.
Sorry, I won't get into
they're
that,
very serious.
No, but why would you need a firing squad for one person?
Well, it's better than hanging, I guess. I don't know. They're just not playing, Natasha.
I get that, but this is
overkill. Yeah, it is.
Overkill.
So they're just warning others. If you think about bringing drugs here, you're going to get a 7.62 to the head.
Yeah, and then already, I mean, there's a lot of anti-blackness in Asia, as we understand. So I mean, it's already a target as a black man in these countries. So
Let's go to Kingsley Bing Pong story.
Yes, and I want to advise before we play it, this is a very difficult video to watch, and because it contains images of somebody who is dying, who is having a stroke, who is in police custody and having a stroke. So the footage is very difficult to watch. And while we know that the result of his arrest is because of racism, I want us to also have in the back of our minds how we conceive and treat people who are deemed to be criminals and who are deemed to be drug addicts. Okay? Keep that in the back of your mind as you watch this.
Unable to stand, covered in his own urine, a Minnesota postal worker rolls around on a jail cell floor, arrested for a crime he did not commit.
Our investigation finds how Kingsley Bimpong ended up behind bars is the real story.
Earlier that night, Eagan police spotted Kingsley driving the wrong way into oncoming traffic and stopped him. According to the police report, Kingsley was extremely confused.
Where do you live? I don't know.
A drug recognition evaluator, or DRE, responded. Their officers specially trained to detect drug-impaired drivers and spot the difference from those having a medical emergency. But instead of doing the evaluation he was trained to, records filed in a federal lawsuit show the officer is heard on body cam saying it would just be a whole bunch of time wasted. Instead, Kingsley was charged with DWI and sent to Dakota County Jail. As he lay on the floor, in obvious distress, guards documented inmate and cell okay.
Paperwork says they checked on him and he was okay.
He was clearly not okay.
What was he?
Dying.
Kingsley was having a stroke. By the time he was taken to a hospital, he was declared brain dead. The state crime lab later confirmed there were, in his system, no drugs.
Eagan police, along with the Dakota County Sheriff, declined to comment for this report.
Three, 6, 9, 10.
Right. Now, one of the reasons we played this for is something we continue to agitate for here again. Testing people when they are admitted to hospital with these. Now, we could look.
No, but remember, he would have been tested only when he got to the hospital, not at the
Right.
police station.
But they still do. That's what I'm saying. But you know, but the drug. We know what this one was all about, right? You have a drug recognition of officer, but still, the man ended up
And this
dying.
is the power that police have that boggles my mind too. That you have the power basically to determine whether somebody lives or dies
Yeah.
based on
Basically.
your subjective view of whether he is intoxicated or not, and whether or not he was intoxicated. That still he doesn't deserve to be arrested for that or to be treated like this. Yes, racism, but also the other things.
I keep getting messages about feet going again, bad echo coming over there. Jesus, fix it this morning, you know. I am so. Let's go. Luca. I let me apologize to you all who's listening with us, who's joining us this morning, and I really hope we can get an explanation for this, because this does not happen. You put on your radio tomorrow for the whole week, morning to afternoon to evening, this does not happen. But for some reason on a Sunday morning, we have to be going through this all the time. I'm really, really getting tired of this. And nobody's explaining anything to us. I get any messages on my WhatsApp short man. And it's saying it going again. I'm looking at the screen. Let's you know, this is not cool. And I need to apologize to you all for this, right? It's not our fault. And we will try to see if we could get this corrected as soon as possible, because this type of information should not be dropping off. All right? So we go to the line at 622-3937, and we're talking. Shalama is in studio with us. Shalama, and she spoke about a lot of things this morning. Low self-esteem, you know, people not believing in themselves and all that. You put on your headset, and let's hear what our first caller has to say. Hello, good morning.
Morning. Sinclair, George Sinclair. I've been listening to your program, and especially the lady's story of her life, really. It's really disturbing. You know, and I think it's about time we start saving the youth by getting some sort of classes into the schools, secondary schools especially. A sort of motivation, self-esteem class, which does exist. I know, because I've heard about it. And that will allow students to become, you know, to mature and to do their finest rather than to just, you know, be lost in the crowd. I don't know if they can look into that. Probably offline I can try and find out an organization that does it, and maybe you could make some you know, moves towards the Minister of Education that it should be introduced in schools at an early age, you know, especially in secondary schools, and it would make a big difference to their lives. I've seen it work, and I know it can work. So, but just my
Yes, sir.
just a bit of a contribution. Hopefully that we can do something to save our
Yes, caller, can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Yes. The institution you spoke about, you were breaking up there a while. So could you just repeat the institution?
Well, I know a few, but I don't want to take the liberty of just broadcasting the name. I can do it offline later on if you want.
All right.
I'd call and leave a number.
Okay. Okay, sir.
Good.
Thank
Good.
you very much.
Thank you.
622-3937. Good morning. 622. Hello. So you can call us now. The lines are open at 622-3937. I'm sorry for but Shalama, thank you too very much, my dear, for teaching us a lot of things this morning about psychosis, about the will to lose weight. Or you can put up the pictures with Shalama. I have a picture of that for people to see what she looked like and what how she lost that weight, 500 pounds. That is amazing. I am paranoid about putting on one pug. so look at that. Yeah, you did well, my dear. You did well. You did well. That was about a 5XL t-shirt.
Maybe, yeah.
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 And now you don't. Look at that.
Yeah.
And
Now I could actually fit into a small.
right. Yes, that is so cool. But it just shows what a will to live and perseverance is all about.
Yeah.
So if you can get through to us, 622-3937. I know Hingston is trying his best to keep us on the air and to keep you hearing us. So Hingston, I really thank you for your efforts, but we know this is not your fault either. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning to Gat and Natasha, and
Hey.
good morning to your guests.
How are you doing, Sina?
I good, and I must say that to the lady there, I'm listening to her story, and that is real determination it took, and for her to get to the size that she said it is, that is great. So I'll ask her to keep on with the whatever treatment she's taking, and good luck to her. But God, I must say, last week was one of the best weeks I had. I laughed so much. I mean, your program is a serious program, eh? But if you see how I enjoyed that program last week, I think that recovering couple was the best thing I had in a long time. I say this program is a serious program, but I really, really enjoyed them,
Yeah.
I was happy to hear how they recovered from all the things they went through.
Yes.
You understand? But it's a pity, I keep saying again each week, it's like you're preaching to the faithful. I don't know if this thing reaching who it should reach, and I think that only maybe not getting the opportunity to get to the real areas that need to hear this thing.
Yes.
And it starts from the school,
Well, we're
Starts
trying.
from the schools.
Well, I
Because
must tell
at
you.
home-
I must tell you that we this time we're trying with this government to
Yes.
see if we can make that breakthrough, because we tried before and we weren't successful. But
I
we're
hope
gonna
you
try.
do. I really
Yes,
hope you all do.
because
Anyhow, you all have a good day.
yes, you
Thank
too.
you.
Because
Right.
we have people line up. I think our school needs this type of intervention, and I am seeing behaviors in our children in school that points to pill popping and snorting.
Yeah.
I'm seeing it.
Newer generation, different types of drugs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Easier
Yeah.
and faster ways to get it to.
Well, remember to tell you what happened to me by 4 hours yesterday with a young lady.
Oh, Lord.
Hello, good morning. The heading south by Ford's gas station, I have the green light. Right? Two females just decide to step out in the road gingerly. One of them have some towels in her hand selling or something like that, right? So, and I thank God I wasn't driving fast. And I seen, but wait a minute, these are adults. How you could just step out in the road knowing that it's not your turn to cross the road? I just stopped and when I say, you all could do better than that and learn to cross the road properly. Now you don't have, who tell me say that? Well, one give me the finger, and the next one who holding the towel at the top of her lungs with her whole chest. All your dirty, stinking,
Please,
blah.
please.
I am talking about loud, everybody in the gas station,
Yankee
who by the car parts place, turn around and watching in the road now. I just keep my head straight and I say, wow, and wind up the glass and just keep driving. If you hear cuss, and I am saying, if this, and I'm sure she probably has a child or two, now this is what is going to be passed on to the younger generation. How police fixing that? How any government fixing that? Tell me. How? They don't teach in school again, look up, look down, look up again before you cross the road. People just walking out in the road, and she cursing me. And I have the right away. This is what police, this is what ministries, this is what we have to deal with out here in 2025. We in for a rough ride. I am not preaching prophet of doom and preaching gloom and doom here, but something is wrong.
We're gonna echo again.
Okay, so Shalama,
Coming through the headphones too?
Shalama, tell us about your future and the children, and what advice would you give to women out there now before you wrap up? Yeah.
So the advice I'll give is, as I say, to reach out from the time you're isolating yourself. I
Yeah.
mean, firstly, parents will know their children. You know, I will tell if something wrong with my children. You know, from the attitude, from the behaviors they portray. You know, once you pick up on it, it have help out here. We have to learn to reach out. You know, instead of staying quiet. They have a big issue also where people don't want the society to know that, hey, my child addicted to this. You know, they rather keep it hush-hush and breaks for the child. You know, you have to reach out. You have to reach out.
And about using while pregnant.
Yeah.
That's important for people to know too, right?
So yeah, because as I say, I don't know the long-term effect my children could possibly have to go through.
Yeah.
You know, because I did use through the pregnancy, and my younger daughter, she born ill. She born with, as I say, a bump on her head, jaundice, whatnot. So I don't know the long-term effects when she get older, if anything, God forbid, was to happen. You know, this drugs has damaged your brains.
Correct.
And without your brains, you can't function. You know, it is a harsh reality.
It is.
Ah, boy. Thank you very much, my dear, for taking the time to sit with us here this morning. It has been another interesting journey on our dependency here this morning, and we thank you all for enduring what constantly is. We can't figure it out yet, but it's very disconcerting, and I just hope that you all were able to get most of the messages before.
I got morning. Are you hearing me, God?
Yeah?
Are you hearing me, God?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
Yes, I hear you too.
Right. I'm not sure what's happening this morning, so I just telling me call direct on air because I am not getting any feedback from on my side. So I don't know if it's a configuration problem on the board, which I would have to look into because the operator before maybe a line may be on or what. So that is something I would have to look into when I get back.
All right.
Right, so I mean, you went hard on the station this morning, so I just let me call on air to just, it could just be a configuration issue.
So thank you very much for clearing that up. I didn't think I was going hard on the station. I was going hard on technology. I just don't understand why it happened because I'm speaking to you right now and hearing myself repeating in the background too.
Right,
so,
and if you are hearing yourself repeating in the background, it's a configuration issue on the board. You have to understand the operator before would have been Tom.
Yeah, I know.
Right? So Tom had maybe have interfered with a knob on the board. I mean, if I was there in studio, I would have identified the issue. But I'm operating remote, as you can see today.
Right, and the Facebook and YouTube feed that continues to freeze up on us.
That would have been an internet fluctuation this morning, which every Sunday we realize that issue. You and I always have this discussion behind the scene,
Yeah,
right? I have already raised it with management as well.
right. Yeah. Well, I know they're looking at it, but I am thinking outside of the station and not even here. Why, I don't want to sound conspiracy theorist, but sometimes it bothers me. It's what are we getting shot from somewhere outside?
No, I
That
wouldn't say
people
that.
don't want
I
this
wouldn't.
information come out. I don't
I
know.
wouldn't. I would
But
not say that. Maybe one Sunday we should try doing an off-site program and just relay it back to the radio station and
and
see
see
if we're
what
gonna have
happens.
any. Yes, sir.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
Welcome.
Thanks very much for your intervention. You going?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Natasha.
It's
Let's
12
wrap up.
o'clock, yes. But we want to say thanks to Shalama for sharing so openly and honestly with us. Your story reminds us that recovery isn't just about quitting a substance.
Yeah,
It's
it's
about
a life.
reclaiming your life and your purpose.
Thank you for allowing me to share.
You're most
And for anyone listening who is struggling, remember, help is always available. You are not alone.
So this has been another edition of Iron Dependency, a little stressful one for God, but we are happy to continue our Women in Recovery series. We think it's very important that we highlight women in recovery as they are not often, their struggles and their stories are not often shared.
Yeah. And I want to thank all those on the outside, Theron Shaw, Bass, Jackie, Bruce, all of you who keep telling us what's going on the outside, what you're hearing, and keeping us posted. Of course, thanks to Hinkson for the hard work that he continues to do to try to keep us on air. And of course, Shalama, once again, we thank you for being here. And Tamika trying to keep that board working too at the same time and everybody hearing you. So thank you very much. Join us next Sunday at 10 a.m. on I-95.5 FM and online via Facebook and YouTube. Until then, take care of yourself and each other.
Yes.
Have a good week.
Good afternoon.
Be careful. Good afternoon. Bye-bye.